¿Aló? Allá. Bueno, muy excelente forma de empezar la tarde.
A
Espero que
great
todos
way
hayan
of
tenido un
starting
buen
this
almuerzo.
afternoon. I hope you had a great
Y
lunch.
en el video anterior les
The
estábamos
previous
mostrando
video, we were showing you the lab of climate change. We are the lab of citizen participation for Colombia. We're known as a mobilizing agent, and today we're going to be talking about one of the different causes that we're focusing in, and we chose this cause because we believe that this is where we're going to find more allies from the private sector and from the different leaders in this country. And every day we wake up, we turn on our cell phone, we check out our email, we turn on TV, and we encounter the worst news. But there's one type of bad news that really affect all of us, that affect everyone right here in this venue and outside this venue. And we're talking about the environment, we're talking about climate change. And this is something that we used to see, for example, in the advertising of polar bears, but now this is here, this is real, and this is a picture of Bogota. Probably at 7 a.m. around the world, air pollution is killing more people than AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria together. 7 million people die. It's as if the entire population of Bogota would die every year, and we're talking about more than 8,000 people per year. In the last 3 decades, in regards of deforestation, Colombia has lost 60,000 hectares. Today, we were searching these numbers, and it's as big as Ireland when we talk about territory in with absolute deforestation, and this is happening right here in our country. And as last point, we have the water issue. Water is necessary for everybody, not just to survive, but also for all the private activities and all the manufacturing activities of every company. And you know something, a report just came out in March that says that 80% of Andean region right here in Colombia is threatened due to the scarcity of water. It's really tough to talk about this topic because you don't we don't want to sound pessimistic, and we don't want you guys to walk out of this place absolutely worried. That's why we are coming up with a proposal based on those takeaways from the past, from this great lab of climate change from our company. So we want to share that proposal. Number one is that we need to stop talking and we need to move into action. We have passed through a lot of forums, and we see that gap. We lack action, but the most important part of that action is that it needs to be through radical collaboration. We need to stop the perspective. It doesn't matter your political perspective, your status, social status, your gender, or your mentality. When we talk about climate change, this affects everyone, and we all should be able to help each other in order to come up with all those solutions. And the third lesson, the most important one, is that we need to recognize the existing solutions, and we need to speed them up. We have talked with different private stakeholders, and it's really impressive what they're doing in regards of sustainability. We need those lessons to scale to get to other stakeholders. We need to speed this up. That's why the model that we're proposing right now, it's not a model of a fighting model, a model of debate or division. It's a model where we're all getting together in order to be part of that solution. That's why what we're doing in this movement in Colombia is using the technology and strategies of participation in order to boost the work of activists and different members that are involved in this cause. And this is a cause where we need to be involved, all of us, all the different stakeholders. Nowadays, we live in a society that seems to be really dispersed. Even when we talk about the political environment, we feel as if everyone is just on its own, everyone is divided. But we want to change this. We want to start working together in a project that could benefit everybody. We have five specific proposals where we see this imminent necessity. The first one is that we need to involve all the citizens in this perspective. We need to transform those behaviors, and we need people to be aware, and therefore we need people to feel involved, and so that they're going to be a part of this solution, so that these solutions can be tested to include renewable energy, also as well as having a more sustainable model, thinking about development. We also need to have visibility of those gaps. One of those issues is that environmental leaders are being killed in Colombia, unfortunately, almost every day. And the last point is we need that political will. That will that it's not just about the regulatory framework, but it's about a real implementation and real commitment. We know that this is not something easy to do when we think in different ways, but what we really feel is that we have so many things in common. So more, we have more things in common than things that separate us. It's really easy to say it, but really tough to do it, because all of us that have worked in alliances, and this is why we're here in Concordia. We know that this is a tough thing to do. For the past 3 years, we have been working in Colombia along with this lab of citizen participation and social innovation, and we have learned a lot of things that we would like to share with you guys today. We need a toolbox, that a complete toolbox, in order to transform behaviors, in order to transform models. This is not something that it's easy to do. That's why we need research elements, strategic elements, technological elements, communication elements, very powerful alliances, and we need to use creativity and innovation. We also have a methodology. One of the ways, or one of the things that has worked with this around the world. First of all, we need to identify the existing efforts, and and multiply these efforts and boost these efforts around the world. Number two is also very important, to identify those existing gaps, which are those issues that no one is focusing on. Is about identifying those bottlenecks, and then we need to speed up, so that through those interventions can actually scale, and that can get to the 45 million peoples that are here together. And when we need to test the different solutions in regards to overcoming these gaps, we cannot stay in the debate. We need to go beyond and apply these solutions, test these solutions, and scale those successful solutions at the same time. As you were able to observe in that video, we already have 600 million people that are involved through this lab of climate change. We were able to work with an entire city, working with solar energy, and we're also working with the transportation system in Sao Paulo to use solar energy, where we have been able to achieve, and we have seen people in, or users in the UK, using different methods, more sustainable methods in their transportation habits. We see a lot of these cases in India or UK, and we believe that they're far away. And sometimes in Colombia, we feel isolated, like that's not gonna happen here. But in Colombia, we have been working in this regard for the past 3 years. We've been learning about citizen involvement and collective leadership, and we've been doing these through different topics, through education and peace construction approaches. And with that, we have a scope of 500,000 people, and we're all ready to go, ready to work with the decision makers, with the private sector, in order to do this transformation. We have also worked with more than 23 allies that are ready to work with us. When we need to change the social model of Colombia, when society has a common objective, everything comes together. We need that with climate change and environmental issues. As I said before, the IPCC of the United Nations, they have indicated that we only have 12 years in order to stop the permanent impact of climate change. And whatever happens in the following 4 years, it's really important. We cannot waste any minute here. Thank you very much.